Before Chris Pratt's new sci-fi movie releases on Netflix this week, watch his underrated military action movie on Prime Video. Netflix is just a few days away from releasing Chris Pratt's new sci-fi movie, The Electric State, but before diving into the book-to-movie adaptation, viewers should check out Pratt's underrated sci-fi flick from 2021. Set to release on March 14, 2025, The Electric State is a star-studded project from Netflix featuring Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown, Ki Hai Kwan, Stanley Tucci, Woody Harrelson, and many more. The film centers on Michelle, an orphan teenager who teams up with a drifter and a robot in the futuristic Wild West in search of her younger brother. In The Electric State, Pratt plays Keats, the drifter described in the premise. Based on the trailer and first-look images, Pratt completely transforms in this film, donning shaggy blonde hair and a bushy mustache, rather than the more rugged superhero look he usually takes on. Considering Pratt's past sci-fi endeavors, it seems likely that he will ace this gruff, drifter role, especially alongside Netflix darling Brown. It also helps that the film has strong source material and good direction by the Russo brothers. Yet, before picking up this latest Netflix release, Pratt fans should watch this 2021 movie first. Before The Electric State, watch Chris Pratt's The Tomorrow War. Another Pratt film that hasn't gotten nearly as much attention as The Electric State is The Tomorrow War. This film takes place in a world where time travelers arrive from the year 2051. Unfortunately, they bring a terrifying message. In 30 years from now, Earth will enter a war with a dangerous alien species, and the chances of winning are looking slim. Thus, the humans of the present are drafted into the future to fight in the alien war, where their chances of survival are not looking good. Pratt plays former Green Beret and biology teacher Dan Forrester. The Tomorrow War went under the radar after its release, probably because it lacked a theatrical release and earned somewhat mixed reviews. The Tomorrow War went under the radar after its release, probably because it lacked a theatrical release and earned somewhat mixed reviews. However, this is a movie that sci-fi lovers should not miss. With a 76% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, The Tomorrow War offers a unique and intriguing premise and plenty of fast-paced action. Though the film can be bogged down by its CGI and somewhat predictable story, Pratt gives a strong performance that puts him on par with sci-fi heroes of the past, from Sigourney Weaver to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Chris Pratt's sci-fi movies continue to be a huge part of his career. Movies like The Tomorrow War and The Electric State are good reminders of how important sci-fi is to Pratt's career. Although the actor rose to fame playing Andy Dwyer in Parks and Recreation, he has established himself as an A-list movie star with massive franchises like Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World. Aside from being huge box office successes, the most obvious connection between these film series is their genre, sci-fi. It is what Pratt is best at. Thus, even standalone films like The Electric State are pivotal to his career as a sci-fi star. Fortunately, Pratt's sci-fi career is not close to ending, even after the release of The Electric State. The actor's new movie Mercy is currently in post-production and will likely premiere within the next year or two. It is yet another sci-fi thriller which sees a detective trying to prove his innocence after being accused of a crime. Plus, Amazon Studios is working on a sequel to The Tomorrow War, which will expand on the film's world and its alien villains, the White Spikes. Pratt and several of his cast members are said to be reprising their original roles. Can these movies replace Guardians and Jurassic for Chris Pratt? One big lingering question as to Pratt's sci-fi career is whether movies like The Electric State and The Tomorrow War can replace his previous iconic franchises. The simple answer is probably not. Although The Tomorrow War gained fans after its release on Prime Video, and The Electric State will likely hit the top of Netflix's charts, Neither of these movies can replicate the box office success of Guardians or Jurassic World. This is because they don't have a theatrical release, which means no box office performance. In this way, these movies will garner a different kind of success for Pratt. Arguably, it may be better for Pratt to step away from such giant franchises. They definitely helped establish Pratt as a movie star, but they weren't always entirely successful. For example, Jurassic World. Dominion grossed over $1 billion at the box office, yet its Rotten Tomatoes score is a 29%. Therefore, films like The Electric State may not have the earnings that Pratt's other franchises had, but they have the potential to be bigger critical hits.